You're listening to NGSC Sports Radio. Hear us live on ngscsports.com, where you can get awesome analysis for all things sport. Or check out our podcasts on iHeartRadio, Spreaker, iTunes, TuneIn, and much more. For our latest videos, head to NGSC Sports YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitter at NGSC Sports and like us on Facebook. NGSC Sports. We never stop.
Started here. All right. Well then, ye old faithful, welcome to the F1 Affair podcast, episode 203. I am once again Edward Green, joined not as always by McCall Grime, Wes Bradshaw. Unfortunately, Wes is a little under the weather, so he will be back next week ready to go. It's because he's got a lot of things to talk about, a whole lot of things. But for right now, just put your hands in the air and lend him all your energy. Just throw that energy his way, and then he'll be back better than ever next week. So good stuff ahead there. Today, are you a fan of content? You're not going to be that happy today, then, unfortunately. We still do have some things to talk about, but not much, because we're not really going to go over a bunch of international friendlies, because, who really cares? We would maybe have talked about England-Italy with the whole VAR controversy a little bit, if Wes was here. A, because he's an England fan. B, because then I could actually talk about this with someone. But since he's not, just know... some people think England got jobbed in an international friendly. That doesn't really matter. But the implications are there that VAR might not be great for Russia 2018. So we'll see. Do want to mention before we get started in earnest that this podcast, as always, is presented by NGSC Sports at ngscsports.com. We never stop. What did stop for about 2 weeks was the Premier League. It's back this weekend, though, and now that the international break is over. And we get started right away into match day 32 this Saturday morning. Crystal Palace takes on Liverpool at Selhurst Park. That has been a bogey for Liverpool in the past. Christian Benteke, the man they bought so he wouldn't score for anyone, will be there. We'll see if he scores against his old club. And Selhurst Park has not been kind to Liverpool. Sometimes coming out of international breaks has not been kind to Liverpool. So we will see how the Reds respond coming out of this one with just, I believe, 6 matches to play for them. Or seven. This will be 6 after this one. Also, at 10 a.m., you have United versus Swansea, Newcastle versus Huddersfield, West Ham versus Southampton, Watford versus Bournemouth, West Brom versus Burnley, and Brighton and Hove versus Leicester. And then at 12:30, you have Everton versus Manchester City. On Sunday at 8:30, you have Arsenal hosting Stoke. And then at 11, the big one on the weekend, Chelsea hosting Tottenham at Stamford Bridge. That is a big one in the race for those Champions League spots. Because as we look at the table, once again, Tottenham and Chelsea right now separated by 5 points in that battle for 4th. If Tottenham win, Chelsea are nearly all but out of the top 4. For this season. They will be, again, at worst case scenario, they will be 7 points back of Liverpool with a game in hand and 7 to play. So it's not quite likely. This is a sort of must win for Chelsea. Even a draw does not do them much good. So we will see how that goes on the weekend. That is going to really shake things up in the table, especially if Tottenham wins, because then the top 4 will start to look very solidified. That is also assuming Liverpool and United win as well. So that's how we're looking going into this weekend. We also will have Champions League football next week. April 3rd, that is the Tuesday. Sevilla, I believe, will be hosting Bayern Munich. Let me get this up real quick here, because I believe that is how that works. I believe Team 1 is the first host. Is that correct? Yes, that is correct. So April 3rd, yes, Sevilla will host Bayern Munich, and Juventus will host Real Madrid. On Wednesday, April 4th, Barcelona will host Roma, and Liverpool will host Manchester City. Again, another humongous match for Liverpool and Man City, really. But for Liverpool, again, and another reason that Crystal Palace match is so big, you're coming out of an international break. You have a Champions League quarterfinal coming up with another Premier League team in like 4 days. You don't want to look past Palace. You can't do it. So that is going to be a tricky one. But then it's balls to the wall against Man City, where and that'll be at Anfield for the first leg, where Manchester City have up to this point suffered their only Premier League defeat of the season. The following week, the reverse fixtures will be played because of where we are now in the competition. No more weeks off in a two-leg tie. It's you play 1 week and then you turn around and play the next. So this is the meat of the tournament right here. So big matches coming up, especially again Juventus, Real Madrid, as well as Liverpool, Man City. Those are two huge matches coming up. Speaking of schedules, we did get the World Cup schedule for Russia 2018 as far as who's playing what day and at what times now. I believe these are all Eastern times. Oh, maybe not. Oh, we're not getting... Oh, we didn't get Eastern time. All times are listed in local time. Are you serious? Is that for reals? No. Oh, local time of the competition. Oh, that's unfortunate. Okay. Oh man, that's not great. Anyway, I'm gonna try to do this best I can. I believe if you are on the East Coast, the earliest a match will start for you is 6 in the morning. One of the matches takes place at 6 in the morning, and I think that is Portugal, Morocco on June 20th, and I believe that is also a Saturday. I want to say, or maybe it's not. Maybe it's France, Australia. 1300. Yeah, I think that's actually the one it is. 1300, which is 1 p.m. local time. Okay, so yeah. My apologies. That 6 a.m. match is on June 16th. That is between France and Australia, and I believe that is 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The rest... there's a couple that'll take place at 8 a.m. and those are the Portugal-Morocco game I mentioned. There is another one, Brazil-Costa Rica on June 22nd. That will be each team's second match up in Group E. That is also, I believe, an 8 a.m. start time. And then more of them will be 10, 12, and noon Eastern time. And I think there's maybe some 2 o'clock matches. So not too bad. Not too bad for the East Coast. A little rougher on the West Coast. But not too bad. We will get started on June 14th. One match will be played. That is Russia versus Saudi Arabia. Who is more corrupt? I mean, who is more deserving of going on in Group A? But I tell you what, and Wes and I, of course, will be doing predictions as we get closer to the tournament. But the other match, Egypt-Uruguay, that kind of sets the table for that entire group. Those are actually... Spoiler alert, those are the two teams I think will actually advance from this group. Even though Russia will probably go on, because how could Russia not? But yeah, I think Egypt's very good, and I think Uruguay's good enough. I don't really have much faith in Saudi Arabia, and Russia's here because they're the hosts. So I genuinely think Egypt and Uruguay will be your two advancers. They start off on June 15th. If you're looking at some other teams, again, Portugal gets started off against Spain. That's not an easy first matchup for them. That'll also be on June 15th. What else we got? France opens on June 16th against Australia. Argentina opens up against Iceland on June 16th. Of course, Iceland had the big coming out party at Euro 2016, and now they're coming up against the last World Cup's runner-ups in Argentina. So big hand claps for Iceland as they will get started on June 16th against Argentina. That will be a toughie for sure. Brazil will be starting off their Group E March against Switzerland on June 17th. Germany, the defending title holders, also kick things off on June 17th in Group F. They will be taking on Mexico. And again, for Mexico, this is going to be a tough group. Germany, Mexico, Sweden, and South Korea. Obviously, Germany, the favorite, clearly to get through. Mexico, Sweden, and South Korea, all kind of around there, though. Any one of those three could possibly come out as the second team. Very, very close-knit group there for the rest of it. Belgium, is this finally their group, or finally their time to shine? They're going to have to possibly get through England to do it. England gets started off on June 18th against Tunisia. Belgium, same day they start, they'll be getting up against Panama. Big game for England fans, obviously. Their last game of the group, which will be against Belgium, potentially needing to win or at least get a draw to advance. That will be June 28th, and that I'm sure will be when we find Wes in the fetal position. That is, again, June 28th. Yeah, and again, Group H, no, not many big teams in that one. You have, again, Poland, Senegal, Colombia, and Japan. They kick things off for their group on June 19th. The knockout stage starts on June 30th in Sochi with the Group A winners versus the runners-up from Group B. Quarterfinals will be taking place on July 6th and 7th. No July 4 matches this go-around. July 3rd is the closest we'll get to that. But again, quarterfinals July 6th and 7th. Semis July 10th and 11th. The third-place game will be on July 14th in St. Petersburg. And Moscow will host the final on July 15th. So that is your World Cup schedule. Do we have? So that's pretty much your soccer match talk. Because again, we're not going to talk about England, Italy. Argentina got blasted by some Spain. Spain destroyed like 6-1. Oh boy. What else? Germany lost to Brazil 1-0. Okay. It's a friendly, who cares? And again, England may or may not have gotten screwed over by VAR against Italy. So that's your international break talk. Yay! News and notes. Enjoy LA. Please enjoy Zlatan. Zlatan Ibrahimovic will be going to the LA Galaxy, and he will be joining just in time for the big LA Derby. No, you didn't hear my eyes roll on the other end of this. Yes, LA Galaxy will be hosting, or be playing at least. I don't remember if they're hosting, because I don't really care. We'll be playing LAFC this weekend. I believe it's Saturday at 2 o'clock. Literally the only reason I would care is to see if Zlatan plays. Because Zlatan is amazing. His Instagram introduction with a lion, because he's a lion. That's like his thing. Over the last couple of years, he's a lion. Because... And you can't spell Zlatan with L-A. That's I like that. I like that from the Instagram video on the LA Galaxy though. It's not welcome to LA Zlatan. It's LA. Welcome to Zlatan. Because he is Zlatan. He is king of Sweden or something. I don't know. We love you, Zlatan. Please come to North Carolina for something. We love you. We got to meet you in Charlotte. We would love to meet you again. Maybe have coffee or something. Talk. That'd be great. We love you. I have a Got Zlatan shirt. I love you. We love you. Anyway, that's news and notes. That's about it. There's a bunch of bullshit rumor mill stuff. You know, I hate that. You know, hey, Neymar's going to Real. Other people are going other places. Who cares? Nothing's official yet. When it does go official, we'll talk about it. So that's the rumor mill right now. But that's going to do it for news and notes. The Watch 4. What do I have on the Watch 4 today? The Watch 4. What am I watching for? I'll tell you what. I started watching. I did watch the first episode of Jessica Jones on Marvel's show on the Netflix. That was all right. First episode was pretty good. 12 more to go. Brooklyn Nine-Nine is Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and as always, Silicon Valley, though, is back on HBO for season 5. And now without TJ, not TJ Hushmanzada, don't you do that to me. TJ Miller. TJ Miller no longer a part of the cast because he's an asshole and probably was creepy with women. So good for them to get rid of him. That's probably good. Played a good character on the show, but just probably needs to go. So season 5, episode 1 just aired this past Sunday night. The Mike Judge comedy will be doing it again this Sunday night. Still a good show. Can't wait to see how they change the formula this season, but besides scrappy young underdogs taking on corporate giants. So we've done it a lot. Maybe we can try something else this season. Doesn't look like it, but there'll be jokes on jokes. So that's gonna do it for the Watch 4. So Raw. Asuka is doing JoJo poses. It's time to bring in Brendan Williams, WWE. It's time to get my $9.99 a month. You're missing it. I keep telling you guys. It's the only thing you need to do. You've got my JoJo in there. Now it's time to just bring it home. Bring it home. So like I said at the beginning, in case you're jumping in here randomly, West will be back next week. West is Kanye West Bradshaw is resting and recuperating. He will be back next week, bigger and better than ever, sort of, and we'll be back bigger and better than ever, much bigger than this episode was. I tell you that much right now. But that is actually going to do it. So like I said, there's no matches to talk about because again, don't care about international friendlies that don't mean anything. So there you go. Welcome to LA, Zlatan. It's gonna be fun. I might actually watch that match on Saturday. So I think it's on Fox. I think it's on the mothership. I don't think it's on Fox Sports 1. I think it's actually on Fox, the big Fox. So that is pretty much gonna wrap it up here. One more time, as always, presented by NGSC Sports. Even when it's like a 15-minute show. We never stop because we weren't going to stop doing it this week. We kept on going, just like they do. You can find them on Twitter. You can find us on Twitter as The Collective. We're still at AFA Pod. Wes is still at Wes Bradshaw 21, and I am still at Edward Green. You can find us on the YouTubes, youtube.com/The All New Sports Show. New podcasts get uploaded there every week. You can email us, allnewsportshow@gmail.com. One more time, we'll be back next week. We'll be breaking down the Champions League matches. We'll talk Tottenham Chelsea, I'm sure. We'll talk news and notes that crop up. And we'll hit Watch 4, and I'm sure will be a gigantic So Raw. So, for McCall and Crime, who's not here, Wes Bradshaw, again, raise your hands to the sky and give him your energy. I am Edward Green. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Foreign Affair Podcast. I will catch you guys next week. Until then, stay safe and enjoy the football. And if you're into that sort of thing, enjoy Easter. Eat meat on Friday. I'm just kidding. If you actually do celebrate Easter, you probably shouldn't eat meat on Friday. But, who doesn't like meat? Besides vegetarians, I suppose. Anyway, this is over. Goodbye.
You're listening to NGSC Sports Radio. Hear us live on NGSCSports.com, where you can get awesome analysis for all things sport. Or check out our podcasts on iHeartRadio, Spreaker, iTunes, TuneIn, and much more. For our latest videos, head to NGSC Sports YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitter at NGSC Sports and like us on Facebook. NGSC Sports. We never stop.